What's happening, guys? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm joined by a very, very special guest from Beta Squad, SDS's very own, and Arsenal fan, Sharky. Sharky, what's happening, man? I think you're like the second Arsenal fan on my channel that I've had. Star Player was the other one.
Big up stars, man. Big up stars.
Big up stars. How you doing?
I'm good. Can't complain. As you can see, I'm a very passionate Arsenal fan. A lot of Arsenal around me. But I'm good. Alhamdulillah, I can't complain. You?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. We've had better weeks as United fans, but the season's coming to an end.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you sure you're good or?
I'm all right. If we recorded this yesterday, which was the day of the Palace game, I don't think I would have been all right. But I'm good now, alhamdulillah. Of course, upcoming game. It's funny because a couple months back when I was talking to you about doing this, I thought maybe United would have been in a much better spot than what we are right now. I thought maybe I could come loud and proud. Oh, we're going to take points off you guys. Of course, you don't find yourself in a title race. Before we actually get to that, I want to speak about Ten Hag and I want to speak about Arteta and I want to hear your thoughts. A lot of the time when people attribute the last 2 years for Ten Hag, they compare it to Arteta's first 2 years. And of course, now he's in a completely different place. What's your thoughts on that? Do you feel like a similar sentiment that Ten Hag should have time like Arteta, or do you think the writing's on the wall because it was never this bad under Arteta?
I think when you're comparing the two, you're looking at, okay, cool, yeah, both managers came in, struggling team, well, big team, regardless, big club they both came into. Obviously, United being an even bigger one than Arsenal. They both won a cup, a domestic cup. Obviously, Arteta winning the FA Cup, and now Ten Hag win the Carabao Cup. You look at that, and you see a couple like finishes outside the top four Arteta had as well. So I get, in that sense, you can compare it directly by looking at it. But I think there's a lot of things people aren't looking at. You know, I think a big thing is that even though when we finished, I think it was 8th in Arteta's first season, he came in halfway through the season.
Yeah,
we finished 8th, and then we finished 5th. I think there was a lot of positive signs, you know, where I don't think we're seeing as much from Ten Hag. That is a problem, because a lot of it comes down to when you come into a team, you inherit a team that isn't yours. You inherit a team that is probably a team made up of the 3 previous managers before you, right? Because that manager will sign players, that manager will sign players, that manager will sign players, and so a lot of them aren't the type of players that you would play in your ideal tactics, you know. So you have a philosophy. You might want a right winger that can do this specific role, who plays with this foot, maybe about this build. But you come into a team, they don't possess that kind of right winger, or they don't possess that centre back that you like, or that you want one small centre back, one to. Every manager has a different system they like to play and specific pieces in that system, and it takes a while to build that system of your own, because you need to have a few windows to get rid of the players that don't fit that system, while also bringing in players that do. You can't do it all in one window. So the key is, when you first come in, you have to work with what you got. So it's a complete different test. You have to work with what you already have there, and you have to be able to be flexible enough to change your ideology and your beliefs for the meantime to get results straight away, or get decent results, or at least, at the very least, show the people that you can work with a team that's been left behind by the manager that's been sacked. So the team obviously weren't good enough anyways that you came into, because the manager's been sacked with that team. Arteta did that really well. Arteta, straight away, he came into a team with Mustafi and Socrates and Kolasinac, and he had Maitland-Niles playing full wing back, and he had Saka sometimes playing wing back, and Ceballos on loan. That's the team he had, you know, Aubameyang and Lacazette, who were like the mob bosses of the team. And he, albeit we didn't finish in the top 4 at all in the first couple of seasons, but he was playing some good football. He was working with that team. He was playing 3 at the back sometimes, and we had a good cup run. I know it was the COVID season. We had a good cup run, beating City in the semi-final, beating Chelsea in the final. We beat Liverpool towards the end of that season in the league, and he got some decent results, and the signs were there. That's one thing I don't see with Ten Hag as much, and now he's about to go into his 3rd season, I believe, right?
Yeah,
that's one thing. The second thing that's key is how you carry yourself and how you talk when the fans want to hear from you, whether that's in press conferences, whether that's post-match interviews, pre-match interviews, all of that stuff. Arteta, from the beginning, and I was one of the only people, and you can see the video proof is there, SDS is there, you know, the best football podcast in the UK. You can see there, you can go back and see when Arteta was failing. We lost our first 3 games of the season. We were rock bottom in his first full season in the first 3 games. We lost to Brentford, Chelsea, and Man City. And the Arsenal fans on a podcast, star player being one of them, Ilias, they wanted them out. The whole internet wanted them out. You can see my Twitter, you can see the podcast. I wanted them in because results is one thing, of course, but how he was talking to the press, how he owned it, how he was saying, this is all me, this is what we're working on. We have phases. We're on this phase right now. We need time to build this. Like, he makes you believe. Objectively speaking, I want to hear from you as well as a United fan. Does Ten Hag make you believe that things are going to be better?
No, not for me, not from my personal opinion. And
That's
a lot of
saying.
what you said, what you said resonates with me, because I think the first thing you spoke about was flexibility in the style of football that you're playing. I think Ten Hag's biggest issue, especially in the last 12 months, has been the stubbornness, the reluctantness to change what's not working. He's rather adamant, I think, that how he wants to play will happen by force and fire, and as a result of that, he wants to play this high turnover kind of game, this higher up the pitch, a higher back line. But at the moment, in the last 12 months, United has not had the minerals to do that, and because of that, you got your striker pressing, your wingers pressing, your 2 10s or your 10 and your 8 pressing as well, and the gap between them and the 6 acres of space. And especially this season, it's been there. It was first game of the season against Wolves, it was on show. Yesterday against Palace, it was on show. That's 35 games into the season. It's still there. And you come up against the better quality midfielders. Forget about Forest and Bournemouth. That's teams that we've lost to. But you come up against teams like City and Arsenal that have a lot more compact midfielders, that are technical, that are in the right systems. They're not system players, but they're in the right systems that kind of play to their strengths. And you see how they capitalize on it. That's why I'm worried about Sunday's game.
Yeah,
I'm not worried because it's Arsenal, because the rivalry between Arsenal and United is always going to be there. Whether it's Arsenal's crap and United's good, or United's crap and Arsenal's good, rivalry.
We've both been crap. We played
in the last decade.
There were still exciting games. We're both
exactly.
Yeah.
So I am worried. The reason why I'm worried about that is because of that midfield, because of Arsenal's ability to retain possession, recycle possession. I can't even talk enough praise about players like Gabriel, who I think goes under the radar a lot because he's next to Saliba. But again, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, Kai Havertz has really started to find his form of recent. Thomas Partey returning into the lineup and being a key ingredient. You lot are scoring at a high rate, conceding at a low rate. United are conceding at a high rate. Yep. And we're just about scoring goals. So it is a bit worrying, but it's also quite interesting to hear, because a lot of the time when United fans, when we're talking about Erik Ten Hag, especially in the last 2 years, the comparison of Arteta is always brought up. But I do think that Arteta had a more difficult hand dealt to him than Ten Hag did when he inherited the team.
You think so?
Yeah. As player for player, 100%. I think Ten Hag inherited a much better team, and also had the backing in the windows to go and get the players he wanted. I know Arteta brought in a few players in that process at the early processes, but it wasn't 100 million spent here.
No.
70 million spent here.
I remember we had the window where we sealed the signature of Odegaard. We had him on loan. That was our biggest signing, because it was like we already had him on loan. And then we'd signed Ben White from Brighton. We'd signed Ramsdale from relegated Bournemouth. We'd signed Tomiyasu, who was an unknown entity. That was our window, So it was good recruitment. But it's interesting as well, because another thing as well, which I don't understand how people compare the two, is this is Arteta's first job.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's his
first managerial job. Ten Hag comes from experience, a wealth or somewhat of a good experience. He coached FC Utrecht, my hometown, the team that I support in the Dutch league, and he got them to, I think, the top 4 position. He's obviously worked. He worked a bit at Bayern Munich, I believe.
Yeah.
He managed Ajax. Of course, Ajax might have dominated the league, but he managed Ajax not really well with them in the European competitions as well as the league. He comes with good enough experience to at least have that knowledge of, okay, cool, this is what I have here. This is what I need to do for now. I have this run of games, or this the players I have at my disposal. I need to get the best out of what I have now and then change for this game. This is my but 2 years in, I don't know what his style is. I don't know what he's trying to do. The signings you guys have made, I don't know too much about in and outs of your club. I don't know how much power he has over that. But the sign you guys have made doesn't even give me any more, like, doesn't bring me any closer to working out what his system is. You know, you're making signings that don't really add up. Are you signing players for this system? Are you signing? But then again, that makes no sense because then you're signing, you got Amrabat, or you got signing emergency loans. You have this player, or you have Ericsson, then you have Mount, then you have a player that can carry the ball. Then you have this player who's more of a, you know, it doesn't progress it as much. I'm trying to work out what you guys are trying to do. I know he's obviously wanted a lot of other players as well, and it didn't work out. He wanted Harry Kane, ended up with Højlund. But it's just strange. I don't know. I mean, outside looking in, I hope he stays. I hope you guys keep losing. It's great for me.
That's the thing, though. If rival fans are saying that is the red signs. That's the writing is on the wall. The second I hear a rival fan saying, "I want Ten Hag to stay," that's enough for me to be like, "You shouldn't."
Of course, yeah, no. Of course, I just don't think he is the man. I think he's a good coach, and I think he'll do well in his career at different clubs. It could be another Unai Emery type thing.
That's why I say it all the time. That's the vibe I get. That's the vibe I get. It's
yeah, I think you can take another team and do really well with them, but I think we've seen enough. I don't think we're going to see a change, magical change in this third season now at Man United. I don't think so.
I hear it, and I agree with some parts you said. But let's get on to the more interesting stuff. The big matchup on Sunday. You know, coming into at the beginning of the season when I saw the fixture list, I saw this is United's second to last game, and I thought, wow. I said maybe one of the teams or maybe both teams could be in a title race. Maybe it could be United chasing top 4. Arsenal could be in that title race again. And lo and behold, one of them was true. Arsenal are in the title race.
Yep.
Obviously, City have to drop points somewhere for Arsenal to win the title. Would you be disappointed if Arsenal didn't win the title?
It's a weird one because, yes, I'll be disappointed because automatically you're going to start thinking of, like, that's what you normally do. You're going to think of the games we lost or the games where we dropped points. You think, of course, most recently Aston Villa at home. You know, you think of the Boxing Day and New Year's Eve games of West Ham and Fulham. You know, you think of the Newcastle game where the ball didn't fully cross the line, you know, and then where Gordon scored from that move. But I don't think we could really be disappointed. I think in 2024, in 16 games, we've won 14, drawn 1, and lost 1. It's like, what else can we do? Of course, yeah, we could have won 16 out of 16, but to ask for that is too much. It's like they've given the boys have done everything. They've given us almost, like, they've given us 99%. I'm not going to penalize them for not giving me 100%. You know, if you get 99 out of 100 on a test and you get 100 out of 100 on a test, you're gonna get the same grade. You get A star. You know, you're not gonna get a different grade. So it's like 2024 specifically, we've been phenomenal. I can't knock them. I can't say, oh, we didn't. It's just City have just been better. You know, I think we might have been the best team this season. If you look at the numbers wise, least goals conceded, most goals scored, currently most wins. Obviously, they have a game less than us. You know, maybe you can even say most exciting football, most dynamic, whatever you want to say. But for us to have all of that, but City, if they win the league, they'll have 2 more points than us. So everything I've said, they must have been better than us. So it's a weird feeling. I don't know. Obviously, I'll be upset because I want to win the league. But I think no matter what happens, whether we win it or not this season, I think next season we're definitely winning the league.
So if it's not this year, it'll be next year. And I think
even if it is this year, whatever happens, it'll be next season for sure.
I think the only thing is when the chips are kind of in control of the other person, it's difficult. You can do everything right for the next number of games you got left, and you can still not win it because City are really in control. The ball is in their court. Coming up to obviously the matchup at Old Trafford, a very depleted Manchester United side versus a very confident Arsenal. 3-1, I remember earlier in the season.
Yep.
I don't know if it should have been 3-1, but United.
Mate, at one point, you guys won 2-1. Garnacho just got a winner.
Yeah, United capitulated.
My heart dropped. I was in the stadium. Garnacho just got a winner. I remember.
And even last year, I remember the January game at the Emirates. you lot bopped us off the field, but the home leg for us was a much better performance. That was earlier into Ten Hag's
you beat us
time. Yeah, it was earlier into Ten Hag's time. Now I think
Anthony's debut, wasn't it?
Anthony's debut, he scored. How times have changed, because you come in a season later to Old Trafford and people are fed up of Anthony and they want him gone. The big difference for me compared to last season is that you're coming to Old Trafford with something to fight for. You know, 3 points is on the line. It can make a heap of difference. A depleted Manchester United side that's been struggling. I'm seeing people saying it's going to be 3, it's going to be 4-0, 5. I mean, at the rate that United been conceding, bear in mind, bro, 81 goals conceded all competitions so far this season.
It's the most ever, right?
Most ever since 76-77. It's the most ever in the Premier League era. United have already lost the most number of Premier League games ever in the Premier League era for Manchester United with 13. After Arsenal, we got Newcastle and we got Brighton. So I don't even know where a win is possibly coming from. Bruno Fernandes is probably going to be missing because he's currently injured. There's no news about that. But I saw some data today that was saying that Bruno Fernandes creates the most chances in the Premier League. And obviously, there's always the comparisons of Odegaard and Bruno, which one is better. And right now, I'm not going to lie, I feel like Odegaard is in a team that is just perfect for him. I think the players around him. I think Arsenal's missing a proper number 9, but I'm sure that's on the targets in the summer transfer window. What do you think the scoreline is going to be? And you know what? People are going to say to me, Mina, you're being too humble or anything. I have to be humble because we've been humbled so many times this season that I can't beat my chest against Arsenal, who are arguably and statistically one of the best teams in the Premier League right now. What do you think the matchup's going to be like?
A lot of it also depends on what happens on Saturday at Craven Cottage, 12:30.
I got a feeling City's dropping points. I don't know why.
I'm silently confident as well. I think we can win the league. I think we'll win the league. But that's me hoping for City to drop points, and they don't usually drop points at this time of the season. They don't. So that's the thing. I'm hoping for something to happen that we've never seen before. So it's not on like a basis of there's previous evidence to go off. There's not. I'm just hoping for something to happen that hasn't happened before. Fulham host Man City on Saturday at 12:30. If City walk through that game, walk in the park, I think it's funny as well because if City win against Fulham on Saturday lunchtime, and we fumble it and drop points to United,
it's over.
City can win the league by Tuesday against Spurs.
So it's really in your hands.
Yeah,
take it to the final day.
Exactly. So if Fulham do something against City on 12:30 on Saturday, right? Say they get a draw. We now are going to Old Trafford the next day. So now we have a whole day knowing that this is the biggest game in our last 20 years. That's the thing. And that kind of pressure makes a whole football match different. No matter how bad United are, no matter how good Arsenal are, that pressure makes the whole landscape of the match completely different. That Super Sunday will be insane because that means we know that if we go to Old Trafford and beat Man United, we go to the last day of the season knowing that as long as we match Man City's result, we win the league. So my prediction right now, not knowing what happens on Saturday, not knowing what happens, everything, my prediction as United is that we should win the game, I think, pretty comfortably. I say 3-1. A 3-1, maybe even a little bit closer, maybe a 2-1, because United are obviously not going to make it easy for us. Maybe a 2-1, 3-1. I don't think I'm going to beat you 3-4, 5-0. If we do, amazing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. We're going to away games right now. We're just smoking teams, especially early in the year, like February times. My prediction at 2-3-1. But if Fulham get something on Saturday, I don't know what happens on Sunday. I don't know if the pressure to get to us. I don't know if,
because you lot can truly fumble it. If Fulham, and I've been saying for weeks, Fulham is the game that I think City's dropping points. I think
exactly.
And I've been saying, and you're right, it does kind of change the trajectory of Sunday because United are in a position where they're in two minds because it's either they stop their Manchester rivals by winning or they stop, Arsenal. They have to pick basically because if they lose, it could be an Arsenal's call.
Yeah, but you don't want City to win 4 in a row. They've already matched your treble.
Personally,
you want them to now beat. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind Arsenal winning the league. I could live, even though I live amongst a lot of Arsenal fans, I could survive. I could survive.
Mm-hmm.
But the history books will not be kind to Manchester United when City are in the history books for winning 4 in a row.
Yeah, they'll be for sure. They'll be now seen as, even if you guys have 13 league titles, you still have to match that and everything, but they'll be looked at like one of the greatest teams. That people to when they are the greatest team in Premier League history, and it's the
greatest era. They might say it's the greatest era of a manager dominating the Premier League specifically.
And you can't argue with it.
But
or we could team up and leave them trophyless. You could beat them. You could beat them. No, you could beat the FA Cup final. We win the league. You win the FA Cup. City finish trophyless. Wow.
Bro, we couldn't even win the FA Cup when we were trying to stop them from doing a treble last year.
We couldn't even win.
And we had a strong team. We had a strong team then.
And he barely got through Coventry. So I don't know.
We just, by the skin of our teeth, we got past Coventry.
Yeah.
I keep saying it, man. The FA Cup, that's a problem for the end of the month. That's not a problem for right now. That's a problem for the end of the month. You say Arsenal's going to win. I agree with you. I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a battering because I don't think I could handle it. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to be a 2-1 or me being a bit, banging my chest and all of that. Draw.
Yeah, if a draw happens, then our season's done.
Yeah, but I think it's more likely to be a 2-1 because United we don't have any fit centre backs right now.
I was gonna say the centre back thing is massive, and if you play Casemiro,
yeah, he's gonna be on the floor. He's going to be on the floor half the game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting one. But big up to Sharky. I really appreciate it coming through, showing love, talking.
Thanks for having me on.
Had some good insight about Arteta and Ten Hag. Guys, if you lot enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I know I probably don't have to do this, but I do it for every guest. Let them know where they can find you.
Of course. I mean, you're coming from a football channel right now, so I'm assuming you are a big football fan. So it only makes sense for me to promote my football platform, which is SDS. So check me out on there. We talk about more things like what I just spoke about with Mina, and a lot more of the boys as well. We have United fans as well. You can hear from and hear their opinions. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoyed me coming on today.
I appreciate it, man. As always, listen. Hopefully, I can come back to you next week and I could be like, yeah, hold that.
Let's see. Hopefully not. Yeah, hopefully not.
I hope so. But big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe on your way out. You guys know what it is. As always, it's your girl, Mina. Peace.